How are you? Robin Ross.
Yes.
Always look eye.
I'm sorry, always
Look eye.
look eye?
Always look right in the eye.
Oh, okay.
It's just a thing.
Okay.
It
I'm
means
just,
that you're
okay.
someone.
You want to sit down?
You know what? I have to tell you, we've been filming outside, and it's
Yeah.
so noisy.
Oh.
Since it's empty inside, we just care for the care tonight.
I hate to take away space from him.
Oh, we can go in the corner.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
We're filming all of this?
It's up to you. Yes, because, it's to share. Because I didn't get the opportunity to ask questions.
Okay, so you don't mind if I film it also for
Not
to
at
share?
all.
Okay. Okay.
I believe in reporting, so I appreciate the cameras.
Oh, okay.
I just, I will sit where you like, but I will tell you this: when you film outside, there's a lot of background noise, especially when we have all the sirens.
I just don't think it's fair to them, and I asked him to use it.
Oh, sure. So,
who is it? Who's the cameraman?
this is my cameraman.
Right.
Can we move these closer, and then do you want to sit like next to me so we can sort of,
Sure. By the way, where do you live? What's you said you moved?
I live in 902.
Can you grab me that?
I've lived in 902.
But I thought you said
that?
you said that you lived
The
in
no
Holt, and then
clipboard,
just
can you
moved
grab
here,
it?
right?
I moved back. I've lived on Olivino. I've lived on Olympic at 2 addresses.
Thank you.
I've lived in and around the city since 2001.
We'll only be here a half hour, okay?
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Having one of our councilmen at his place filming brings attraction, not the opposite, I would think. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Okay. Actually, I should probably sit on that. Not that I think somebody's going to come in. You never know here, though, right? They'll come right in and rob you right in the middle. So
I'm sorry, they'll come in and do...
rob you. I'm sitting on my purse to give me a little height at this point.
Okay.
Why not? I'm protecting it. We are on the 300 block of South Beverly. We've had a lot of crimes here recently, so this is a place.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because I was just here and I just walked to the UPS store, and the two of the covered 6 people were just walking by here just before us. Okay, let's see how we get this. How we do it over here. Okay.
You want me to help you?
Just have to go upside down. There we go, right?
Wonderful.
Okay, good. Let's do it.
So you have me on camera, not you on camera. Do you want to be on camera too? Flip it the other way. And then you want to go like this.
Yeah, there we go.
Perfect.
Okay.
So, I think by now you all know who you are and who I am.
Yes.
So, I have so many questions for you.
Sure, please.
I am going to start out by saying that I asked a question at the South Homeowners Association's meeting forum, and you didn't answer the question. And when I went to ask it again, and to get the answers, what's the name of the moderator again?
That was Ken Goldman.
Ken Goldman. I confused him with our assistant mayor by accident. So I apologize to Lily for saying that our assistant mayor almost attacked me when he charged towards me for the microphone because he didn't want me answering any more questions, which I had from parents in our community. And the question I was asking was given to me by one of the parents in our community, and I'm going to read it again. And what I'm going to say is I'm not asking for you to tell us about the 2,000 cameras, the 900 more that are coming, the drones, or the license plate readers, because we all know about that already. Okay? Fair enough?
Okay.
Okay. So the question is, If safety is the first priority of the city council, why has the city council not had emergency meetings addressing the escalating crime in our city?
So, the city has had meetings. We meet with our police department on a weekly
Speak a little
basis.
louder. You can move closer if you need to.
We meet with our police department on a weekly basis, and we have been doing things. As you mentioned, some of the things that we are doing. We've started a real-time watch center where we're going to be integrating all of those services.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I did learn about that.
Okay.
So I do have questions about that as well.
Sure. So we are reimagining our alert system, the BHPD alert system.
Which is what?
Is the text so that our police department, whenever there's an activity going on in the city, if you subscribe to it, it's 888-777. If you text that.
Does it matter what area code you're in? Because some things do. Like I can tell you, for example, living in Los Angeles, I couldn't dial the, 311 or 211 number because I have a 718 number, so it wouldn't allow me to do that. So you have to have a certain...
No, but I think it's my understanding that if you text BHPD alert to 888-777, then you've subscribed to the Beverly Hills one, and you're going to get Beverly Hills.
Say it again. I know it's on the recording, but I want to write it down. It's
BHPD alert.
Okay.
And it's to 888-777.
Okay.
And if I'm incorrect with the numbers,
Right.
I apologize.
Then we'll put it in the comments.
But then, what you've subscribed to is the BHPD alert system, and even if you're in New York, if you subscribe to it, you should be getting the alert.
Well, I'm not in New York. I'm here, but I have a New York number. So, in other words...
No, I'm saying if you're physically happen to be in New York...
So what are these alerts? What's going to be on them?
Whenever there is...
Stay off of South Beverly, police pursuit?
I don't know if it'll be worded that way, but they may say that there is activity on the 300 block of Beverly Drive. Avoid that area. And then, at the conclusion, they'll tell you when it is safe. Or if there's a helicopter around, there is activity in the northwest portion of the city.
Good question. And you made me think of something, and I don't mean to interrupt you. I have ADHD, so if you give it to me, I got to go right away. Helicopters.
Yes.
We have our own.
No.
So, when we have helicopters, where and who are they coming from besides the media?
It's LAPD.
And they help us.
And the LA sheriffs. We have the ability to contact them, and if there is anything that we need from them, then they'll send a helicopter over. Depending upon if it's LA Sheriff's Department, if it's in the area, and they have a free helicopter, it'll be them or it'll be LAPD.
Where do they go up from?
LAPD is in downtown Los Angeles. I don't know where the sheriff's from.
So if you've got helicopters above you, how quickly are they? How long has whatever's happening before they get there?
I don't have a time frame for you.
I'm curious though. It's a good question.
Yeah, I don't have a time frame, but what we are doing is we're instituting a drone program, and the drone station is going to be within the triangle area, and a drone can be dispatched within 20 to 30 seconds.
So where in the triangle area? Like in somebody's house?
No, it'll be on one of the commercial buildings, because you need to have a line of sight that is tall enough in order for the drone to be dispatched. You can't have
Is
it
it
at a
going to
low
be on
level.
Crescent Drive, maybe? The little house that's going to be building up because they've been drilling down to dig to test the soil?
No. It'll be at an office building. It'll be at either a 9 or a 10-story building that's in the triangle.
Okay. That's city owned?
Maybe, may not be.
Oh.
I don't think
so we would be paying them to use the space? So.
From what I understand, the building owner has donated it.
Oh, okay. I think a lot of the building managers or owners are in cahoots with some of the corruption that's going on, because I can.
Well, we're talking about crimes that are occurring on the streets. I doubt that that's true.
When
but
a building has their garage gate broken for 6 weeks at a time, and they're not fixing it, which is just inviting people in.
yeah. Again, this is going to be a secured area that the building is permitting.
So who's running the drones?
The police department.
So there'd be like a specific officers that are trained just to do drones, and that's going to be drone duty. They're going to be like, so the job description is going to be they're going to be drone police.
No, it'll be a police officer, and that'll be one of the many duties they have. Will be operating a drone, and there'll be more than one police officer who does it. It'll be 3, 4, 5.
Well, you're going to need to have a whole staff for that, because the reality is you're going to have shifts, and it's something like that. And when they're going to be watching, that's like a specialty. So I personally wouldn't have it the same officer that's doing other things.
And that's
just
right.
my opinion.
Well, I think for the most part we leave the staffing of the police department to the police chief. That they're experts in the area. Certainly we have oversight over the police in general, but in terms of how they deploy police, I think that's really something that they need to do.
Okay. So how often are the cameras checked that they're working?
Cameras.
The cameras, first of all, the 2,000 cameras, they've been up for years, because everyone has known, for anyone that's lived in the city for a certain amount of time knows that we've had cameras forever.
Yeah.
This has been a city that you don't mess around with. Everyone's known that forever. This has been a city that's had the best police, the best schools. We're not going to talk about the schools right now, because I think that our focus is a little bit different than, because just because of where I think your commitment is with safety, or what some may have think it's been lack of, right?
Kind of. The school district has its own governing board.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about the school district.
So whatever they do is really under their jurisdiction. The police department is under the city's jurisdiction.
So that I've been made aware of, and hopefully we will, going forward, be able to make some changes with that, as far as just with the communication and all that. But I don't really want to waste your time or mine or the communities on that, because that's an issue that we can't change in this. We can't. There's nothing to. I'm not going to get any other answers than I have already.
Okay.
So that but I would like to know about the camera use, and
So I don't have. I can't tell you specifically when a sidewalk is checked for cracks or the cameras are checked. There's a routine maintenance that they have to go through, and I just don't have that specific information.
I've walked the streets with people that knock them for repairs.
We have a system. There is a system that we have, and it's an electronic system that they go through the streets, and there is a whole template as to when they have to check them all. But again, that's for the sidewalks. As far as the cameras are concerned, I can't tell you the specifics of it. If a camera,
who's responsible for that? Which department?
It would be a combination of IT and Public Works.
Do you know when the last time the IT department met for one of their committee meetings?
I don't have that information.
I do.
Okay.
I think I think that they.
But it's not the committee that does it; it's the IT department that does it. There's a citizens committee that is an advisory committee, but they wouldn't be checking anyway. It's the job duties of the IT department itself. But I don't have.
But wouldn't they be meeting with their committee? That. Do you want to know when the last meeting was?
Oh, you can tell me.
February 2020.
Okay.
It's a long time. And
Yeah.
Do you want to hear something outrageous? The city was able to put our school children on Zoom, follow all of their activity.
So the city was able to.
The city was able to immediately put children on Zoom, supply computers, and you know, monitor everything about a child, because when you're giving them a device, you're monitoring everything. And
The city wouldn't.
that's a whole other issue.
The city wouldn't do that. The city doesn't have any jurisdiction to monitor the children when they're
Oh, well, we can go over the apps that are in there, that are in the computers.
The city wouldn't be doing that.
Okay, so then who is? The app
don't-
company that they're purchasing? It gives, that's a whole other discussion. The
Okay.
reason why I'm bringing this up is because from what I was told, the reason why the technology committee did not meet was because, what's his name? Give me a second. Who's the head of technology?
David Shermer.
Yes. He wasn't comfortable having the meetings on Zoom.
Okay.
So they haven't had one meeting even on Zoom. They had one meeting, I think. Or maybe not, because from the printout, from the thing,
Well,
it
my
says there was no
recollection
meeting.
is that there's 2 council members who are assigned to the technology committee, because you only can have 2 at a time.
Right.
And it would not be up to Mr. Shermer whether or not a meeting would be held. It would be.
Okay, so why would we not have our isn't technology a pretty big thing having to do with our cameras and everything else?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I'd say it's a problem.
Okay.
And I think that we need to do some more digging there, and we will do that. If you don't have time today, we definitely go into it another day. But as far as I want to go back to the real-time
Watch center
watch center. Where is the watch center going to be?
in the emergency operations center in the police department.
Okay, and I heard it was $500,000 to establish this. Is that correct?
There is an initial.
I don't have any problems with that. I'm just asking.
It's an initial budget of $500,000 that's being rolled out to establish it, but that's only an initial budget. It's
Right.
probably going to cost more than that.
Oh, of course. So the question was how much to operate it? Because obviously, if you've figured this out, then you've figured out the whole plans.
Well, what you're doing is you're redistributing some of the services that are already going on. So when you say how much is it going to cost, we're going to have a dispatcher there. Well, that dispatcher is already in another location, so we're going to be moving that person over. The watch commander is in a different location, and we're going to move that person over.
So everyone's going to be in the same location.
The watch center is for that purpose. Yes.
Right. So where are these people now? Nobody's watching it now.
No. Watch commander has an office on one of the floors of the police station. The dispatcher has it perhaps
And
on
the
the same floor in
dispatcher
a
is
different area.
it's not a police officer. It's just a civilian that
A
has
civilian
this
who's
job,
trained.
and they work in the police station. And you're saying they're at a watch center. I've been there actually.
Right now
I've been to the watch center.
Well, right now they're in the dispatch
Yeah.
area, which is a big, large,
It's a
dark
big large
room.
Yeah.
Kind of circular, and there's different desks all around. But the idea is to have that
pretty
plus
amazing.
Public Works over there also, so that all of the camera feeds are going to be there also.
So how many people are going to be watching that camera feed?
I don't think that's been decided at this
So,
point.
I mean, I can tell you when I lived in one of the Trump buildings in New York City, just for the building alone, 24/7, there was 3 people in a room watching. 3 people for one building. So, and I'm telling you that in order to really do that efficiently, that's what you got to do.
Well, I think the idea is to use artificial intelligence software to.
But the technology department's not even meeting.
Well, yeah, I know that you said that to me, but the technology
I think we'd like to
department-
find out the answers to that.
Well, I think the technology department is meeting. I think what you're telling me is the committee, the citizens committee, has not met, and I don't know if that's a fact or not. And we can certainly check that.
Right. I mean, and again, I don't know how much involvement the city has with, but here's the cancellation from George. This was this is just one of the letters I printed.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot. You can see here. Cancellation. This was even in 2019. So when did they meet? And that's why when Robyn Royce this is the committee he's on. I don't even
I'm sorry,
see.
who's on it?
Isn't Robyn? I keep saying Royce because Roy's Robin. So Robin Rowe.
Oh,
Isn't this the committee he's on?
I understand he's on the committee. I don't have a listing of the committee. If you tell me he's on it.
Well, this I think this is the thing that he's talking about. That's like why we should vote for him, right? Well, because he's got the technology experience.
Okay.
But they're not even meeting. Here's the last agenda of the last meeting
Okay.
that they had on February 20th, 2020.
Okay, but again, the committee is different than the office.
I understand, but from, what I've learned, there's not, and I haven't been able to find anything on those meetings, and, or what they're doing. So maybe I can meet with David as
Okay.
well to
Certainly ask him.
to find these
Absolutely.
things out. I'm sure people in the city would like to know. So I would like to know, I don't know if you remember, but in the April 27th was not the meeting when I asked you. It was the following week when the microphone was taken away from me, and it was taken away on the South meeting because I asked about something on the North meeting.
Okay.
And so it was the April 27th meeting that this happened in, and what I was talking about earlier was the following week. So I don't know if you remember at the meeting, and I didn't, I don't have your exact words, but I can bring it up for you because I have it here. So,
I think you're going to ask me about the safest city.
yes, I am. How'd you know?
Well, I suspect that's what you're going to ask me about, and I indicated that we have a very
Tough
safe
matter.
city. That we have a very safe city, one of the safest cities in California.
No, you
I think-
said the safest city in California.
And
You said
that
we
is
still
certainly-
have the safest city in
and
California.
that is certainly my opinion as to
What does that
being
say?
a resident.
208 last year.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is, but let me tell you what I think about our city. We are generally compared to cities of like population. Our population is much different than most any city in California in that we have a residential population of about 34 to 35,000, but our daytime population is around 250,000. And when you
I don't know
compare,
about that.
you don't know if it's 250?
I mean, I don't know where you're getting that number from.
Well, the numbers quote
You're
already
saying
was
based on like people that work in the city,
correct.
or people that
Come to the city.
to commit crimes.
Well, I think there's probably more people that are coming to work here, and I think the number is anywhere between 200 and 250, and we can, we can debate whether it's 200 or 250, but those are the generally accepted numbers. And what a lot of statistics do, and I don't have any information on the ones that you have, is they take the number of crimes, the crime numbers, and divide it by the residential population.
So do you know how many we are? Do you know what the number is
Of what?
of the crime rate per like 1,000 residents?
I don't have that in front of me. I'm sure you do.
I do.
Okay.
So with a crime rate of 42 per 1,000, Beverly Hills has one of the highest crime rates in America compared to all communities of all sizes, from the smallest towns to the very largest cities.
So, and that, if you're reading that statistic, I'll assume it's true, but that's per resident as opposed to what our actual population is during the day, which is the
You know
200,
what?
250.
I beg to differ, and my kid goes to school there, and every crime that's happened recently on South Beverly Drive has happened around school hours. Okay? This is an issue. To say that we don't have crime is insulting. It means you don't care about us. That's what I'm getting, because if you cared, then you would acknowledge it, and you would do your best, like you say you're doing. Because I don't think you are, and I'm just telling you because
I don't think you ever heard me say we don't have crime here. At least if you look at the tape, you'll notice that I never said that. All I'm trying to explain to you is that when some of these statistics are taken, they use the...
You know what? I don't care what they're using. I just know that, you know, with more than 93% of the communities, they have a lower crime rate than Beverly Hills.
Okay.
And Beverly Hills was always known to be safe. But you see, the thing is, we're the laughing stock right now of the crime community. They know they can come here and commit crimes.
And get caught, right?
No, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I think that our police need a lot of training, and I hope to be able to provide them with some assistance with that.
Yeah, Beverly Hills has a very good rate of catching criminals that commit crimes
When they
in
want
our
to.
city.
When they want to.
Okay, I don't
You have a
think-
question for him? Because, or you're smiling at me, so I'm assuming.
Sister Beverly Hills has a what?
A crime rate of 93% of communities in California have a lower crime rate than Beverly Hills. That's pretty sad. That's pretty, you know, that's pretty awful. Do you not agree?
No, I have a lot of thoughts that probably this isn't the right place for, but
Well, if you're interested in saving Beverly Hills, on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, save Beverly Hills.
Okay.
I think
Robin, I've
maybe-
only got a couple more minutes because
Okay.
I need to leave by 12.
I do need to ask you,
Sure.
who's responsible for editing me out of the video?
Editing you out of what video?
I believe your son, Josh, manages your Instagram. I shared a video.
And my son Josh does not manage my...
Who is the one that does?
It's one of my sons, but you know, I don't...
Oh, it doesn't matter who it is. I was just
I
told
don't,
one
I
of your
don't,
sons.
I don't involve my children in the work that I've chosen to do.
Okay, well, he was sitting behind me that
Okay.
night, and when I shouted out that we are the 208th safest city, because I got the years confused, and I shared with concern, and you had people in the back cheering you on. I was sitting on the in
I
the
don't think
front.
I had anybody cheering me on at
Oh,
all.
you did. That's okay. Here's the deal. It's all recorded, right?
Well, apparently you think something was cut out.
Oh, I know it was cut out because I was
Okay.
recording, and so was other people there.
Okay.
And your son was sitting behind me, and when I said that, he said, "Well, maybe you should go back to where you came from,"
Okay.
which is not very nice. Certainly from one of the councilman's children, and I didn't know who he was. But I learned when we went on a break after that heated situation, and they called a break before, you know.
Well, I don't know if he knew you came from New York or not.
Well, I actually, I had said I just came from a mile and a half away. And so I said, "What are you, part of the corruption?" And he goes, "Yeah." Whether he meant that or not, I don't know. But the point is that after that, we went into a break room. And you know, I ended up learning a little bit more, and
Is there a question that you have
yeah,
for
the
me?
question is, who edited me out? Why would you not want?
When you say who edited you out, I don't know what that means.
Who decides what they're going to leave out of the videos? In other
Well,
words, what's the department that films and that that uploads it to Vimeo?
I have no idea.
You don't know. You're the councilman. You don't know.
I don't know that there was editing
Well, you have to know who's
done.
recording it.
Well, if you're talking about the general feed, that is the city that does that.
Right. So who runs that department?
I don't know if it's under probably under Shermer.
Okay. So, do you think it's a problem that was edited out? That you had a concerned constituent sitting there, and she shared information with the city and all of us, residents to hear, so that they knew that we are not the safest city despite the crime that we have here, and that we are, in fact, I made a mistake, the 204th, not the 208th, which we were last year. But last year we didn't have any murders, and we have this year.
So if
or
I-
was her murder last year?
if I can go back and say once again that I think that the statistics that you're using are based upon a theory of what the residential population is.
It's
as
the
opposed-
facts. You want to go through. You want to go through stuff. You want to go through all the crimes. You want to go through all the stuff. Do you want to deny it? I mean, let's just talk about how we're going to fix it. Really, because
Robyn, and I'm going to have to end on this. I still say that I feel safe in Beverly Hills. People should feel safe in Beverly Hills. There is an
when
increase.
you're part of the
there
crime,
isn't.
when
There
you're
isn't.
creating the crime and you're part of the crime, you should feel safe, right? Nobody's going to mess with you.
There is an increase in crime regionally and statewide. We need to change our district attorney because our police department is catching the criminals. Unfortunately, they're not being held accountable for it.
I have been treated not so nicely by some of our officers, so I don't really think that they're really acting the way our police officers used to act in Beverly Hills. I don't know about you, but I don't want, would you want your 11-year-old child, if you had an 11-year-old daughter, do you have any daughters?
I do have daughters and I have 2 grandchildren, and yes, they went to Beverly Hills.
So could you imagine if one of our police officers took their 2 hands and shoved one of your daughters or granddaughters when they were 11 years old with 3 friends and the mother, me, behind them, shoved 2 hands in the chest by one of our officers at a fun event when they were trying to see Santa Claus on top of the fire truck. Do you think that's how our officers should be behaving?
No.
Do you think that they should be treating? I mean, these officers make a lot of money, and I don't really need to hear that. Oh, not compared to California, not compared to LA, because you want to know something. Let's compare the crime everywhere. They have it pretty cushy. You know what I mean? And I'd like to know how you agreed to a 14% increase over 3 years. First of all, I'd like to know how you get those increases. What kind of evaluations are being done? Because each officer needs evaluating. And I would like the opportunity to go through my footage because I have a lot of the officers.
Okay, so I think what you should do is any of that footage, you should give it to the public integrity unit of the police department or any other public.
I'm not standing anything over. We're going to sit and meet and talk, and we're going to fix the city.
Robyn,
together.
Robyn, I need to leave by 12 o'clock.
That's okay. I appreciate your time. You did. I really appreciate it, Lester.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You can tell he's so happy to meet me. I really do. I have to tell you.
It was very
I
pleasant.
appreciate you coming out. I really do.
It was very pleasant meeting with you.
Because you were the only one that didn't respond, and then you told Lily that you didn't get anything from me besides an email, and that's why I asked who was running your Instagram, because I would ask them, because I sent you messages there too. Because I left you voicemail messages, which I have recordings of you leaving, because I always record myself. Okay.
Thank
Take care,
you.
Lester.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.